Alright, we are now recording. Thank you everybody for joining us for this week's weekly roundup here at Duskview City. This is the 7/7 recording, July 7th, 2024. I am currently flanked on both sides by my other fellow roommates, Rini and Cheese. We are going to be talking about what we did last week, what we're planning to do next week, and there might be another segment that we add. Plus, we'll also get around to any individual questions that anybody may have towards the end. So, the big burning thing, obviously, the thing that there was a lot of joy about, we did in fact have our first fireworks show in the Sunset Bar. We, to some degree of lack of planning, got things out mostly on time. We did want to get things out sooner than we did that night, but unfortunately, we were hard pressed to get everything out that we wanted to. The fireworks show was great. We did manage to get the rooftop access, as we've wanted to do for a little while, and thanks to Rini, we are now piggybacking off of the same script for the private room transitions. So any sort of transition code in the future is going to be nice and clean. We'll be able to add sound effects and like the very zippy and nice nature with the fade out, fade in system. Going forward, that level of polish should be basically expected on any scene transitions. We have fireworks now, so if there's anything that we want to do with fireworks in the future, say New Year's Day, if somebody wanted a fireworks show for their birthday, or anything else you'd like to shoot off fireworks about, maybe specifically a specific country's independence, or another day of large celebration. I don't know, the World Cup. Yes. So, furthermore, to round it out, whereas we did succeed on a lot of the implementations, there are obviously a lot of things that still need to be done for the rooftop. It doesn't have the same basic amenities that the majority of the bar has, as posted in chat. Indeed, we don't have the menus the options menus upstairs yet, up on the rooftop. That will be addressed in a near patch. What we do have, of course, is a silly amount of trampolines and the prospect of turning the rooftop into an entire bouncy castle. It seems that that's the way it's going to go, and I have no qualms with that. Yeah, we want to make like the deck and beach like furniture, so you'll have the lounging chairs and towels and stuff put down. Yes. Oh, there will be umbrellas. I'm looking for any reason to add another spot for trampolines, just to be goofy with. We're gonna... That rooftop is gonna be a bouncy castle, and nobody can stop me. I'm an adult and I know exactly what I'm doing. One of the things that we did manage to get done over the course of the past few days that thankfully we were able to squeeze out a few nights ago we did end up addressing virtually all of the major concerns or issues that were plaguing the rooftop release. So obviously the first thing was, hey guys, your fireworks are still going off, you know, whoever's Honda with the lights are on, you know, it's still on. Yeah, so we fixed that. The patch notes were posted without an everyone ping in the main announcements channel for anybody who did not see them. We did tackle virtually everything, whereas the rooftop bar did not have a proper bar collider for drinks and menus to sit on. The menus just sort of fell out in the back. There was no actual obstruction to prevent people who were not bartenders from getting behind the bar. There were a couple of model issues where I accidentally had a backwards facing normal, which caused the fire pit, the lowest level, to actually be a sinkhole that people fell in. That was a fun one. Always check the direction of your normals. Always check the direction of your normals. So there is a lot of polish that needs to go on. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing. The rooftop in itself, our goal is to make it so that it is its own environment. It is its own slice of Sunset, if you want that. If you want just Sunset Bar at the rooftop, that is going to be an option. As Cheese mentioned, it is our goal to make it so that there can be a seamless transition where you pass security and then suddenly rooftop, and rooftop only. For those who want specifically the rooftop, we want to give that experience while still maintaining all of the natural flair of Sunset. So it's all, yes. So there is work that needs to be done. It's very definitely a beta. It will be expanding as time goes on. I absolutely think that's feasible. There will also be a large building put behind Sunset now. There was a very, very, very unanimous voice about, Lingy, why are you not casting a video player onto an adjacent building? So yeah, that's going to happen. That is, yes, that was one of the biggest points of feedback that I saw. I had at least 6 different people approach me about it. Yes. Yeah, it was a very, very big suggestion, and I was happy every time I heard it, because it's like, yeah, this is one of those quick, easy, and clean suggestions that we can throw down really quickly. So expect that in the future. That said, of course, yeah, we obviously. Yep. So what you should be able to see from the rooftop is at least, I would say, 3 to 4 of the mega corporation buildings. So for those who are invested, or at least slightly dipping their foot into the their foot into the pool, there is Duskview City. Sunset Bar exists within Duskview City. Duskview City is in northeastern Ohio, and it is basically east of Cleveland, north of Youngstown, in modern-day Ashtabula, situated on Lake Erie. Basically, the city, much like future story plots where, like, Detroit has been bought by corporations, like in something like RoboCop, for example, or Deus Ex. Yeah, I mentioned Ohio. I know of Ohio. It exists in the lore. One of the major themes of Duskview City is it's supposed to be building on themes of, like, cyberpunk and transhumanism sort of themes, kind of like Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Human Revolution, etc. Cyberpunk 2077, of course, other games like that. I'm going to say right now that I have more of an allegiance to the Deus Ex franchise than to Cyberpunk, but I acknowledge and am happy to see Cyberpunk influence as well. But yes, transhumanism, because why not? We are in virtual reality where we can explore boundless possibilities. Why not play on themes of, where is humanity going, and etc. So, one of the things that you'll see in Duskview City in the future, to round this all out, is basically all of the megacorps of Duskview City have their headquarters literally in the city. They are the tallest buildings in the city. They all very prominently project their logo on the rooftops of their buildings, so you'll see the logo of all these megacorps. Those are the landmarks. Those are the ways that hey, which way is north, east, southwest, etc. They're going to be very large, like multiple city block area compounds, even, where basically their corporate headquarters are surrounded by concrete barriers, basically private military bases surrounding each of these corporate headquarters. They are essentially protected at the same level, if not greater, than, say, an embassy, for example, where each of the corporations has a majority stake in or a stake, not a majority stake, but each corporation has a stake in basically the city government and can sway it as basically a private entity with a single vote amongst virtually like 30 other people. And one of the buildings that will be nearby that you'll be able to see is my self-insert character in the Duskview lore. My corporation is Lingia Manufacturing, and I even have the group on VR chat. You can actually look it up anytime. I actually started working on the lore and some of the stuff behind it and what's to be expected of if you were to indulge in the lore and create a character that's designed to operate in Duskview City. You'll have things like an employee ID, for example. You don't have a driver's license, like a license ID or anything. You have an employee ID. That's how Duskview City goes, and other mega cities in this weird future thing. So, lore dump more in the future. There will be a time period where we are fleshing out the lore like crazy, but. As for last week, very successful. I am so happy to see how many people had fun with the roof. I want to give more. Unfortunately, I am here to tell everybody that I am not working on the roof at all this week. Let's talk about what's going on next week, or as we come into this week. So, a lot of people have obviously noticed that there is this weird, wacky, wahoo stage thing that exists behind the main stage. The backstage doesn't exist anymore. There's this weird, magical place behind it now. And oh my god, we used to be able to go in there, but now that guy, that clown Lingy added a barrier, and now we can't walk in there without breaking in with avatars. So we are working now to unveil the Neon Horizon stage. To the benefit of all bar owners, managers, etc. It is our goal to create areas in Sunset. As we add areas, they will be off by default. And by off, I mean they will be inaccessible, and the standard user coming into the experience should really not even know it exists. If they look at the map, they might be able to say, hey, oh, it says this area is closed. It says this area is, not open tonight. They may make that observation, but in reality, they won't even be able to see it. The Neon Horizon stage is our love letter now to the performance community, because the present stage that everybody knows and loves, it is small. It is ill-equipped for very large events. It technically has seating for 15 users. This is inadequate, especially with some of the more grandiose performances we have. I don't know how many of you have been to the Savvy Bar, but the performances have been fantastic. I know at least one person in here. I see a funny guy in here who stands to benefit for sure. He's a funny guy. I swear. I'm of course talking about Stupid. Yeah, Stupid. I got you. I see you there. No, I'm talking about Hayes. Of course I'm talking about Hayes. Love you, Hayes. So, the Neon Horizon stage is our goal this week. To get a functional, working... it shouldn't be a prototype. It should be a live release. I got you sacred for a second. Yeah, you were sacred for a second. But you're actually sacred eternally in my heart. That's not how you spell scared. There you go. There you go. Got you, boo. Got you in 4K too. The Neon Horizon. You're good. The Neon Horizon stage. Let me stop going into full dumps here. The Neon Horizon stage is going to be a full feature, full service stage that will, instead of providing just a 90-degree cone of vision, sort of like small platform stage with 15 seats, it's going to have a full decked out multi-layer like theater seating with like proper chairs and seating and arrangements that would fill the entirety of the instance. It's the goal to provide a space that hopefully we can see the Savvy Variety Show take place one day, in glorious fashion, because where Savvy is hosting it in the Grand Arcadia Theater, it is a lovely prefab, and I stand to learn some things from their prefab in terms of good design and I guess clean like aesthetics. I'm hoping to mesh out my own, but try to keep on the no wood policy as much as I can. Neon Horizon is off by default. When it is open to other users, you'll be able to turn it on if you so desire. It is designed to turn off several of the objects that obstruct the main bar and then the Neon Horizon stage. So the version 1 stage, the seating around it, the round booths over in the corner, that will all disappear, the wall will turn off, and it'll be a straight shot from main bar to the Neon Horizon stage. If the management desires. You do not have to turn off that wall if you don't want to. So one of the fun things about Sunset is I've created a bit of a labyrinth, whether people like it or not. I'm hoping that people will bear with us until we do create the warping system, so management can sort of choose where the front door takes them. I want to create a specific entrance for... there is a bar connected in between the Sundown Lounge, the club, and the Neon Horizon stage. I call it the U-Bar. It is a elongated U-shaped bar in the future that will service both sides and act as an intermediary between both zones, if you desire it. Otherwise, you can obfuscate it. I'm wanting there to be an access point where you actually walk out through a special set of doors that serve no other purpose other than being a fast warp point to that bar, so that you can walk out, see the bar, and then I picture it being in the back, so you would make a right, and then you're in the Neon Horizon stage. This would just be fantastic. You don't have to open the other wall. It can continue dynamically culling other objects for performance reasons. So I know a lot of people have questions about, well, Liggy, you're adding so much to the world, isn't it going to cause performance dips? The fact of the matter is that we cull the geometry that is not being used. we're using two techniques, actually. Occlusion culling in general is a general technique in Unity, where Unity will attempt to pathfind from different points of interest to see whether or not you would be able to see objects through other objects. Basically, it'll calculate between edges and pinholes, and you can define the size of the hole, and it will build spots where it decides, if you're standing here, I'm not going to render the other objects over here. So using that technique, it deactivates those game objects and saves on performance. So if you don't see it, it's not rendering, saving you on performance. I would like to confidently and triumphantly state that currently the Sunset model itself is up to 800,000 triangles. And I have many friends in VR chat who wear avatars that are 1.5 million triangles, and I have all of them loaded, always. So, it's, yeah, we're not we're not singling out Rini here, but, yeah, suffice to say, Sunset, optimizing Sunset and making sure that it is not affecting performance is usually one of my first goals. I've definitely heard a lot of people saying, well, you could optimize Sunset better. And it's true. I could downscale the textures even further than we are, to the point that they look muddled and really fuck ugly. I really don't want to do that. Other techniques, we could compress the model, but unfortunately when you do that, it can cause weird lighting artifacts and other kind of gross oddities that it can cause some of the vertices to do some very interesting and weird things. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. There is a low amount of compression put on the model at the current time. That's where I'd rather like to keep it. But Neon Horizon, I'm gonna shut up about the other stuff. Neon Horizon, what do we expect from it? It is a full 180-degree stage. If you walk out through the curtains that will be added in the near future, you will be able to look straight to your left, straight to your right. There is a full 180 degrees of viewing that you can do. You will have people directly on your left, directly in front of you, directly on your right. So, a massive improvement over the current main stage if you're looking for bigger performances. If you're not, you don't have to enable this. If you'd rather have the smaller scale, perfectly fine. Now, right? That's going to be an amazing. We have to live stream that, but we're gonna be adding additional features that the main stage currently does not have, such as a runway and a central platform. And there have definitely been quite a few people who have been like, "Hey, Lingy, I see that you're adding like a runway and stuff. Is there gonna be funny shows like burlesque or exotic dancing?" And yeah, we're gonna put a fucking pole in there. Yes, we are not afraid to add poles. Poles are not inherently terrible, horrible, adult-riddled things. You can do a lot of cool things on a pole that are not exotic. Yes, actually, there's this rather awesome archer I see on YouTube who does a lot of pole things with archery, and it's just incredible. It is a massively beneficial exercise tool. If you can do anything on a pole, the amount of exercise you get from it is incredible. So it's heart healthy. Do it for your heart, please. Yeah. We'll have the sunset pole in our house so that you guys can see me live on the pole. I don't fucking know. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No. It's not time. So, there will be some of the more adult themes that will have able to be enabled that will they will require a level of verification. While they are not inherently adult and can be seen by minors, we would rather these features be obfuscated unless adults load them. So this is for the safety and protection of those who are eager to try things out in the virtual hellscape that is VR chat. I love you, VR chat. Never change. It's gonna have more stuff than just that. Obviously, we're hoping to adopt other things in the future where we'll be able to do things like trivia nights and other things facilitated straight through the world. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. Currently, our goal is to get it ready for shows. So this week, since that's what the weekly roundups are for, the showmanship, the showcasing of performance and talent. That's what we're going for. So we're going to be making the Neon Horizon stage accessible, viewable. It is going to be these two things only for a select set of people for starters, while we make sure we iron out any kinks. We want to make sure that it's ready for everybody when it's time, but we also want to roll it out for those who are going to use it. So the Savvy, for example, is going to be one of the primary sources of utilization. They are getting first dibs. We're hoping to have a version ready with all the trimmings, seating, all the proper colliders, all the correct barrier protections, all of the sunset tech, all that ready to go. We're hoping for a Thursday release on this. Yeah. What is not done will be done over the course of the next few weeks. In which case, I'd like to speak briefly on one of the issues that Reedy and I have definitely had a problem with is we've made a lot of promises. And whereas this weekly roundup system is basically us making promises, it's that we're trying to make affordable and accountable promises going forward. I briefly discussed it before we started recording, but just for anybody who's just now tuning in or is still curious, the weekly roundup is designed to be our means of celebrating the victories we did get and championing for what we'll be doing the next week. We want to set attainable goals that we'll be able to do over the course of a week and what we can do for the community, and etc. We're trying to tackle this massive pile, this massive backlog of things that we've either promised or are looking forward to doing piece by piece, and this has so far been an effective strategy to keep us on target. I know a lot of us suffer from ADHD, for example, and God's help me if I'm able to stick my brain into Blender for a few days straight. I can stay in that space and just crank. And if anybody here is familiar with like the December and January updates, I was basically pushing model updates every single day. I do want to get back to that. I want to get back to constantly having something new and wonderful to show off, and I want people to expect to see changes again. Like, you go into Sunset and you might find something new every single day. Yes. Well, I mean, that depends. Like I said, though, areas are simply geometry. Since I'm using the same materials, all it has to do is load that extra geometry, and that's kilobytes of data. So rendering it live, it's a small uptick, and that's even if it's not being occluded. So one of the design goals with Sunset was to create different areas, and have them bent out in different ways so that we could actually occlude things and make it so that if I make this turn, I'm not going to see all of this other stuff. Now all I see is the stuff ahead of me. So any new additions would be done with that design philosophy. That said, there are a ton of areas that have been pre-planned that are going to be finished. So with just a bit of a future site section, the areas that we're looking at finishing right now is, of course, the Neon Horizon stage, the rooftop, the VIP bar, the U-bar, the Sundown Lounge, the theater, and then private rooms. So there's a lot of stuff in there that we're going to be tackling. Excuse me. And there are the other small things that will be littered in there. After this week, for example, we're going to be tackling the vending machine and drink garnish projects. So that'll be something to look forward to. But we'll be talking about that on the next weekly roundup. So, brief go over real quick. Well, we still got a little bit of time. I'm trying to keep this under 45 minutes like last time. So last week was a pretty large success. I'm so happy to have seen so many people getting out, enjoying some fireworks. The people that have been enjoying the rooftop, I love to see it. I love to... Yeah. I love to see how many people are having fun up there, and it's so nice to have a nice fresh area to do design work in and stuff. But you know, you're going to be expecting the same thing with the Neon Horizon stage here shortly, so I'm hoping to provide just as well with that. So going into now this week in Outlook, you're going to see the Neon Horizon stage become usable. Whether or not it's available to a lot of people, that'll be up to whether or not how much we get done and how satisfied we are and ready to launch. There may be quirks and kinks that we gotta iron out, but we're hoping to have a soft launch on Thursday at the Savvy Bar, where anybody and everybody is welcome to visit to see that new stage in practice, where we'll have an area where performers can muster themselves in backstage. There's not going to be very much backstage just yet. That'll be more future planning, but at least there's an area for performers to retreat out of the eyes of all the bar patrons, for example. So there will be this new area, and hopefully I can get at least a prototype down for the U-bar, so that it's not a scramble in and out of the main area if they don't want to use it. But if the U-bar is not out this week, it'll be my goal to have something presentable next week as we go into the drink garnishes and the vending machine systems. Something that we did not mention yet is that we, and I mean Rini, managed to get us our second bar in the Sunset Bar. To those who are not privy, there is a second drink machine, air quotes, on the roof. What people are not fully privy on is the fact that it's not a second machine. It's the only machine. It just warps locally. Due to the higher demand of drinks, Rini adjusted the pouring time so that it is not I think it was 5 seconds, now it's down to like, I don't know, it doesn't even feel like a second now. It's a lot snappier. Cosmetically, I guess it was nice. It was satisfying to hear that slow pour and the nice like frothiness of the drink, but in reality, if it's a busy night, you just need to squeeze out drinks, and you don't have time to enjoy an animation every time. That's why they add the skip animations all these funny haha gacha games that we play. Um, I'm looking at me because I'm playing these funny haha gacha games. Um, to those who are not already in the loop, um, one other point of Future Sight is that there are going to be 5 locations where the drink machine is going to warp to in Sunset. There is going to be the U Bar, which connects between the Neon Horizon stage and the Sundown Lounge. There's going to be a bar up in the theater section, which is that elevated section between the bathroom hallway and the second floor of the club. And then finally, there is going to be a drink machine where the current cat and dog rooms are. Those rooms are going to be removed, or moved rather. We have future plans for them, and future furnishings for them, of course. And we'll be changing that spot into something a little bit darker lit and moodier for the back. We call it the VIP bar, just for the sake that it would be small, discreet, and very intimate. We want it to be more of a personal bar. There should be, if we can incorporate it, themes of, more, I guess, adult facing. Like there should be a little bit of lust feeling. It's like there's this aura about it because we're right by the private rooms, and they put the flirty bartender back here. Ooh, I would love to see bars like kind of capitalize on aura and provoking thoughts, I guess, if you will. Whether or not they do anything with it, that's their business. But to have the sultriness about it, I crave that. I really do. So, fantastic. So that is the week that we're looking up forward to. We have 8 minutes before no, I'm sorry, 8 minutes, yeah, before the 45-minute mark. We're going to try to keep it as short as we can. I would like to open this segment now to anybody who may have questions about anything we've talked about tonight, or anything that you'd like to add that you think would be a smart addition to our week's agenda for this week. If you can raise your hand in the productivity stage. We are now taking requests. Yeah, if you say anything in chat, we'll drag you in. If you don't know how to do the raise hand system. We got Dakota. Get in here. No, doing alright. How you doing? So, I do believe that I didn't we talk about this before? Yeah. So. Right. Yes. So, There is a methodology that we can use using our current tech. I can actually create invisible barriers that are one way, that would go both ways. That if you're in a booth, you would get options for that booth. And you can make it so that your voices do not travel out, or you can make it so that other voices coming in do not travel in. It would only duck the sound by 75%, but it's enough to almost effectively silence people unless they're right up next to the wall. Um, and in which case, this would be something that'd be really easy to add to the booths. We would just need a way to enable it. But it's something that we could actually literally create as a prefab and wrap on each of the booths. That would not be that. I just got a crazy idea. What if we added these mute bubbles as an object in the vending machine, Rini? You just sort of deploy it onto the table, and it like shows you a visual representation. Then you can choose the shape, either cuboid or spherical, and then you can just deploy them wherever you need them. I'm tossing out a dome shield. Yes. And it just creates those walls. Like it creates, and then you would just be able to choose on the device: do I want sound coming in? Do I want sound going out? Do I want one or the other, or both to be obfuscated? And simple as. And then you would have a third button and a fourth button where it can draw for people inside the bubble, and then it can draw for people outside the bubble. So if you don't want people knowing that your bubble is there, you can do that. And if you want to see like the visual representation of the reach of your bubble, you can also do that. We will. I think this is a excellent idea for the vending machine system, Rini. I think we need to write this down. I will do that right after the show. I'm not going to get too much into it because it's going to be next week's discussion. But the vending machine system is going to be it's going to be a series of machines in the world that will have an interface that will allow you to choose items to spawn. You'll have a limited budget, and you'll be able to request items. They will belong to you and only you, and then you'll be able to do whatever you need to do with those items. This is going to include the inclusion of things like the drink coasters, ashtrays, and smoking accessories if the bar allows it. Booster seats was something that was asked for the Mama Hanadas and Rusks and Mints. I think that's adorable, so I want to do it. Yeah, just unleash the gremlin. So, also the tiny Rindos, I see you out there. So, Dakota, fantastic question. Definitely an addition for next week. That is something we can definitely look forward to. Yeah. And I would like to give a shout out to Rini. Special thanks to answering all questions that have been showing up in chat. Alright. Going once. Going twice. Last call. If you have anything you'd like to ask, just drop a Z or any character into chat, or raise the hand if you know how to do it. Going once, going twice, and sold. Alright, we're wrapping it up. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the recording now. And thank you everybody for coming out. This will be hosted live, or it's hosted live now. It's going to be posted onto the YouTube. It'll be expectable in about an hour or so. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. We hope to see you next time. Love you guys.